Hey everybody, Tony George, Doc Sports Happy Hour Show. Thanks for tuning in, boys and girls. This is part 2 with Super Casino host Steve Searday. Ladies and gentlemen, this man revolutionized the casino hosting genre here in Las Vegas, and we bring him back on to talk more about his career. Of course, this book, Whale Hunt in the Desert, is all about him. Steve, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you. I pay him to say that, by the way.
Part two here. So if you missed part 1, be sure and get on our YouTube channel and check out the opening part of this interview. But we were talking about your duties as a casino host. And SteveSear.com, people can go over and kind of read your bio and find out what's going on. Read this book here. You can find that on Amazon.
If you're a gambler, for sure, you want the book. A lot of insight.
Oh, yeah. So you were talking earlier about people spending $5,000 to $10,000 coming out here to Vegas with that kind of a bankroll.
Yeah.
You know, they need a host.
Correct. You know, if you're just coming with a few $100, you probably don't need a host. You know, get your slot card and get rated if you play table games, and you're going to earn points to get freebies. You know, the coupons will come up. But if you're bringing $5 to $10 grand, a limo should be picking you up at the airport. Now, not New Year's Eve, Tony, and not Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
I love you, but not then. Okay.
Right.
But you know, during the summer, it's 110 out. You're bringing $5 or $10 grand, especially downtown, like at the D. We're talking about Derek Stevens. Limo's going to pick you up at the airport. You're not going to wait in that long line at the registration. Go to the VIP lounge. Your room's going to be ready early. Now, you know, we even try to charge you if you want to check in early.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. So, no, if you're comped, we want you where? We want you playing. We don't want you waiting in line to go to the buffet. You're going to get to cut in front of everybody. You bring $5 or $10 grand, you should bet 1% of that. So that means 50 or $100, you know, a hand. If a guy brings 10 grand and he's over at the $10 table, he's never going to lose 10 grand. Okay.
Right.
I mean, remember, we hope to win 1 or 2 bets an hour. I know it doesn't seem like, you know, if you're betting $100 a hand and you play 4 or 5 hours, you shouldn't be down 10 grand. You should be down about $1,000, maybe. You know, we're only going to win 1 or 2 bets an hour. I know if you play correctly. A lot of people aren't playing correctly, so I try to help them on that. But yeah, you know, I'd say a guy that brings 10 is going to get not a standard room either. He's going to get a suite. If you'll give me action Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll get you even a bigger suite if it's not a big holiday or anything. Obviously, concert tickets. At a $10,000 to $15,000 range, if you want to go to see other shows, we can usually do that. Say I don't have Celine Dion downtown, but you want to go see her at Caesars, get you a couple off-property tickets, stuff like that.
Question for you. So this book here, interesting book. Get this at Amazon. We're going to do a third segment with Steve. We're going to talk all about this book and some of the stories that are in here.
It's not for the kids, by the way.
It's not for the kids. No. This is although this show is family entertainment.
Yeah.
we do give you a warning just in case.
Exactly.
But this says Whale Hunt in the Desert. So explain to me and the folks out there watching. Let's just say a whale is a guy that brings 100,000.
Well, I can tell you the definitions. Yeah. A high roller to me is someone that'll bring 25,000 to 100 grand. Okay, and I have several of those, and they come several times a year. A whale to me is anybody that brings 6 figures to $1 million. And a lot of people say, well, I thought a whale was only $1 million player. I have $1 million players that come from Thailand and overseas, but they only come once a year. I've got guys from California that are coming once, twice a month with 100 grand. That's a whale, baby. You know, he's risking 6 figures every trip, and I can see him every month, pay and play, pay and play. So, you know, at that level, they're getting discounts on their losses, Tony. You know, you lose 100 grand, maybe only pay me 90. I'll get you 10% off, but you got to pay me quick. Go, because I don't get paid also as a junker rep till those markers are paid. Most of my players play on casino credit, which the book goes into. So anyway, so to answer your question, a whale, somebody brings at least 100 grand.
So let's say,
and I have 70 of those.
Okay, so do you have
not thousands, but 70, and that makes me Michael Jordan. There's only 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
And it's taken me 35 years to get 70 active guys that'll give me a shot at 100 grand on a weekend.
So you mentioned Caesars, you mentioned the Barbary. In 2019, not only do you act as a casino host here in Las Vegas, you've expanded beyond the borders, and I think maybe even the country.
Correct. My business model is I'm one-stop shopping for the gambler. You're freezing your ass off in New York, let me put you on Norwegian Cruise Line, and I earn as you go. If you want really exotic, let's go down to the new Baja Mar and the Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. You want to chase TNA? I'm going to put you at the Palms in Vegas because that's where everybody goes. You've got the kids. Okay, let's go to Viejas by San Diego. You can go play golf. Mom takes the kids to SeaWorld, and you can gamble. So I'm wherever you want to gamble, I'm your agent. And I negotiate up front what you get comped and what I can give you on the back end based on your play. So it's pretty cool.
So do you have casinos like, I know,
In London, I'm
Macau?
sorry. Yeah, no, not Macau.
Well, I'm just saying Macau, you mentioned London. Do you have casinos that reach out to you and say, hey, Steve, can you bring us some players?
Of course.
We'll give you A, B, C, and D.
Of course.
You know, we'll give you an override. We'll give you a little bump. So this, that, or the other.
Players are power, and even the ones that hate me need me, because in
Right.
this day of all the competition, they need junket reps. And I only get paid for new or inactive. So somebody watching the show, I'm always going to get an email and say, oh, I've been playing at Caesars for years. I was there 2 months ago. I'm pissed off. My host didn't do this. I love you, but I can't help you. I only get new, like if you've never been to the Palms, or inactive. If you haven't been there in a year, then I can get credit for you. I'm kind of like car insurance. Do you have car insurance? Just humor me. Yes.
yes.
How often do you pay it?
Monthly.
Great. When was the last time you saw your agent?
1990.
Perfect. But every time you pay it, he gets a commission.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
But I lose about 20% of my players every year because they're broke, they're sick of gambling, or they're sick of Steve. The third one doesn't happen often, but it happens.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly networking, rebuilding, going to the track at Del Mar, not to have fun, but to meet the guys at the $100 window and meeting all the ticket tellers. You know, when I go out to Derek Stevens, you know, who's in his skybox, I'm always trying to hunt. You know?
Right.
No
Yeah.
pun there, but you know.
So the grind, although all the success, though you've made a little scratch over the years,
Yeah.
the book, you're still grinding. It's a day-to-day grind.
Yeah. I think it's just me and my work. I work for 9 casinos. I have 9 bosses, you know, and so it's just, I still get excited every time I'm around that action. I have a group going to Viejas this weekend. I'm going to drive down with my friends, and they're going to gamble, and I still get excited. You know, my biggest female player's going. She puts 100 grand in the cage, and she plays the wheel, which is tough. If 17 hits, she's golden. I
Yeah.
mean, that's her. She's going to win 23,400 every time 17 hits, because she'll stack it and go all around it. If she doesn't hit 17, it's going to be a long night. And she hoots and hollers, and she's young and fun, and so I have a lot of female players now too. You know, 20 years ago I had very few.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Cyr, that's CYR.com, Steve Cyr. We're here with him. We're going to talk about what the worst part about his job is and what the best part about his job is after this commercial break from our sponsor.
If your business is using satellite or cable to entertain your customers, and you want to capture your customers' attention, play our television content with your own commercials. Our targeted content can align with your business, and you can play your own commercials, giving your customers a customized experience. We combine your commercials, custom messaging, and network-style content. Everything you want and nothing you don't. Market products and services. Eliminate competitor commercials at the same cost as premium cable. Managed service means no hassle and no additional resources. Screen content management is the right solution for you. What are you waiting for? Screen content management. Contact us today.
Hey, welcome back. Tony George alongside Casino Superhost Steve Cyr, my new source for tickets here in Vegas now.
This show's going to cost me.
Help
I
a
can already
brother
tell.
out.
Yeah,
Help a brother
this show's
out.
going to cost me.
Yeah, not to mention our producers, Wade, the owner.
Entourage.
Oh, you're just going to, yes, Entourage.
Entourage,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, you can just call me Turtle.
Yeah.
Just call me Turtle from moving forward here. A lot of people will look at this, what you do, and say, that's got to be it's like me. I pick sports for a living.
Right.
against the Las Vegas line and watch sports all the time and this, that, and the
Dream job.
Yeah, dream job. That's what everybody says.
Right.
That's on the surface. That's the facade. That's what people see. They don't see the 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, sports being played 365 a year. And they don't.
And if the game doesn't cover, it's Tony's fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'm the one that dropped the pass in the end
Right.
zone. Maybe you're the one where the dealer just was tricking me and he kept drawing the 21 with 6 out of the hole. That's your fault, dude.
I get it.
So
I'm their hero Friday when they check in. They hate my guts Sunday when they check out. Then I've got to collect it. Or remember, a bounce marker in our great state is a felony. I give
Yeah.
you casino credit. I don't care if it's $1,000. It's a felony. They will pick you up. There'll be a bench worn out for you. I mean, there's an ugly part to my job for sure.
Yeah, so it's not all unicorns and rainbows and
No.
lollipops, you know.
No.
So that is that the worst part about your job?
Well, this is the 3rd edition of Whale Hunt in the Desert. The first one came out 14 years ago. 4 whales in there, murdered, suicide. 'Cause they, so there's a bad part of the business too. That it's rare, There's 100 great stories, but there's some bad stories. People gamble more than they should. That's why I said I lose 20 to 25% of my customers every year because they shouldn't be gambling.
Right. Well, curious to know with these guys coming in, say 6 figures, they come in. Some of them fly in on a Learjet, this, that, or the other. They get here, they go through all the things. We're going to talk about that in the 3rd segment. So popular, so much complexity, Steve. We have to have, this is the first, I want you to know, you're the first 3-segment guest, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, but that being said, my last question, a couple of the last questions here is, when they come to town and they bring that kind of money, is there a consistent vice with these guys? They're like lot of people you say, well, these guys like to play pie gal if they're playing big money, or maybe.
Well, here's the first stereotype.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks my big players are druggies and they must be all night doing coke and ecstasy. No, those guys aren't gamblers. They're doing coke and ecstasy all night and they're in the nightclubs all night.
Right.
My guys are addicted to the action, and the vice is just that they want to win. You know, a third of my customers are so wealthy, it doesn't really matter. The other third shouldn't be here, but they're the funnest, okay?
Yeah.
Then the other third, as their age and wealth increases, their gaming increases. My biggest customer now, 30 years ago, used to bring 25 grand. Now that's his first bet. As his age and wealth and business increase, now he brings 5 million a trip.
It's the experience.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I don't, in Hollywood, the star gets all the attention. I don't care about the stars. Stars are stiffs. They're a pain in the ass. We can talk forever about that. I do in the book. I want the construction worker with 10 grand that's going to fire it up this weekend and give me a shot at some money.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Sear, ladies and gentlemen, casino super host right here in Las Vegas, London, Bahamas.
California.
Soon to be my boss, it sounds to me like, because it sounds like a good gig. I just want to tag along, buddy.
I want to do what you do.
Yeah, well, we
work
work something
together.
out.
Yeah.
Work some out. SteveSear.com. We're going to be up for our 3rd segment. We're going to talk about this right here, because if you have not got a hold of this, if you're an action guy at all, this is must read on the nightstand. We're going to talk about Whale Hunt in the Desert on our 3rd segment with Steve Sear. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode with Steve Sear on the Doc Sports Happy Hour. Check us out, DocSports.com, SteveSear.com. Be sure and tune in. We're going to break down this book, a must get, over at Amazon right now. Thanks for tuning in.